And
Like for me, like I cherish a lot of the mistakes that I've made. Like I almost did jail time, like actual jail time, for something that I did when I was 20 years old. You know what I mean? And whereas a lot of people would be ashamed of it, I'm not. You know what I mean? Because I look at it as like I'm happy with where I am, and had that not happened, something different in my life might have went. Like my life might have went just a different way in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So the way I look at everything in my life is everything. I don't know if everything happens for a reason, but like after something, like
but it
I don't
does.
know.
You just said
I
it.
don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like it whatever happens gets you to where you're at. And if you're happy with where you're at, you shouldn't regret anything that
What
got
you've
you
been
there.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's everything happens for a reason, but like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and it's just it kind of sucks because I'm like, yo, I've made mistakes. I've made more mistakes than people that are worse off than me. Like,
Mm.
and it's like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very big on psychology and like why shit happens and like why people do the things they do and shit like that. So I'm constantly thinking like, why?
I
Like
think
I
it's a
told you,
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's all a process of learning. Just like like you said, like how you said you kind of like you not what do you say you cherish the mistakes that you made and shit.
yeah,
Like I kind of feel the same way. Like I've made a ton of fucking mistakes. I've trusted people. You know what I mean? People have trusted me. You know what I mean? Like I've let people down. People let me down. So on and so forth. However it goes. Um, but I think that like going through those things, like you learn a lot. Like you learn, maybe not to do certain things certain ways and shit. But like you said, like there's people that are in way worse situations than me that have made less mistakes than me. Because like sometimes I'm like, damn, like I did this, and I did this, and I'm still here. Like that shit's crazy. Um, but it's I think there is something to it where kind of like how you said, like, is it everything happens for a reason? It's like I guess that's just a way to. I feel like when people's like, because I hate when people use quotes and shit and try to base their life on quotes and, like I hate stuff like that. So like to say, oh well, everything happens for a reason. It's like that's just to make light of the shit that you just went through. Like, don't sugarcoat it with everything happens for a reason. Don't sit like just be like, you went through it, you dealt with it, you've accepted it. I've learned from it, and now I'm moving forward. I'm not gonna be like fuck. Well, that happened for like. I'm not gonna do that. I'd rather just deal with what it is that's going on and stuff, and acknowledge it and accept it. Because a lot of people don't like to accept, what they did wrong. You know what I mean? They look at it like, damn, that's
You both held accountable for what you guys did. Not to cut you off, were you both held accountable for whatever mistakes? I know I made
yeah.
mistakes.
I mean, I would say like half of mine. I would say I was held accountable for. Um, it sucked at the time, but like now, um, it's it's crazy. It's I just look at things so differently from when I could say even like just 10 years ago. I look at things completely differently. Um, I had a conversation. It's funny. It's funny. I had a conversation with a coworker, and he was having issues. He was having issues at home, with his girl and shit or whatever. And he was talking about like being with the kid, like being with his girl and the kid and shit. And he was like, it's kind of fucked up, but it's funny. He was like, he's like, yo, I do these things, you know what I mean? I'm here with the kid and shit. He was like, and then he was like, all the shit I'm going through. And he was like, sometimes it just makes me want to call my dad and be like, I understand. I understand why you left. I don't hate you for leaving anymore because I
I
understand. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of fucked up, but it's like, okay, you know what I mean? I see, you're going through shit, but it's like, that's kind of like in a fucked up way, that's growth. You know what I'm saying? Because that his father might not have just been able to deal with his mother. You know what I mean? And now he might resent his father for leaving, but he doesn't really know why his father left. But now he's in a similar situation where it's like, I really can't fucking deal with this shit. Like, this is really crazy. I'm gonna lose my mind or whatever if I don't leave. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. But the world is different now too. There's a lot of sympathetic people out there nowadays, and when we were coming up, it wasn't like that, you know. And I think that's why I was kind of I didn't want to sugarcoat it. And I think a lot of things too was like, I've kind of been around it for a long time. Like, if I was to get into it, I might get emotional, but like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, fuck it. Like, they have to want to do what they need to do, you know.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your further listening pleasure,